Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. I'm Tundu Abiola.
Welcome back. I'm Veronica Odeka.
Good morning. I'm Biola Labi. Campaigning for the 2019 general election is finally on, and Nigerian politicians are everywhere trying to make the most of the opportunity. Campaign trails and whistle-stop tours have become the order of the day all over Nigeria, and it promises to get busier as Decision Time 2019 approaches. What do politicians have to sell this time? And would Nigerians be willing to demand for a better deal this time? For a perspective on this, we're now being joined by political scientist and public affairs analyst, Omoshola Deji. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
So it's official now. People can start campaigning. The last week already, we've already seen people out on the road. We've seen people getting their messages out. What do you think is going to be different in the discussion that candidates are going to be having with Nigerians this time?
Well, candidates of the ruling party, President Muhammadu Buhari, and the opposition party, by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, are going to have a very politically interesting times with Nigerians this time around. Why do I say so? Nigerians are more politically enlightened than before.
You believe that?
Yeah, because vote buying has one merit. Vote buying is increasing the level of political participation. You know now that if you have a PVC, at least, if regardless of how poor you are, you can still get like a bag of rice, you can still use it. You see government
it's a currency.
Collecting their data, you know you can receive like a stipend in your account. We saw that in Ekiti. So vote buying has one merit, which is it is increasing.
So that's an unintended consequence.
Yes, it is increasing the level of political participation.
But is it not
Nigeria
commodifying
now.
political participation?
Say that again.
Is it not commodifying political participation?
Well, whether commodifying or not, the vote buying as it is in Nigeria today is a dangerous trend, we agree, but it's not something that we can easily remove now because Nigeria is a society with very sharp contrast. Now, the poor is far way more than the rich. People are not living a convenient life, they are just enjoying their existence. So in that kind of society whereby you take one step and you see somebody that is extremely rich, displaying so much questionable wealth, immediately, before 5 minutes, you take another step, you see somebody that is extremely poor, so incredibly poor. Now, you take one step, you see somebody that is very hungry, looking for what to eat. Just take another step, you see somebody that is wasting food. So in such a society with very sharp contrast, whereby the population of the poor is absolutely higher than that of the rich, definitely vote buying will continue to trend.
I mean, what you've said is very concerning, but interesting at the same time. When in a country where the latest numbers is that 83 million people are in poverty, so this contrast becomes much wider, which means that these 83 million people are all candidates for vote buying. People can buy their votes. When you look at that and you're saying, okay, these people, the people that are probably going to be engaging in vote trading at this point, because now it's a commodity, what is the conversation that needs to be had with them? Because you're saying that they're more enlightened. Are they really more enlightened, or is it really about the highest bidder? Because now we're saying it's a commodity. And when you're trading in commodities, you're just trying to sell to the highest bidder. So is it really enlightenment that is the exchange, or is it really just the highest bidder?
But right now, it is the highest bidder, because if you look at the Nigerian political space now, the premium we place on political offices will make anybody to want to make it a do or die affair. Nigeria is a society where we cherish power. People respect you based on what you have, the amount you have, who you know, the connection you have, the kind of power you have, the position you occupy in the society. So you see a situation whereby people want to do everything humanly possible, or even inhuman, to get into political space. So whether you enlighten the people, is somebody, you must have a level of orientation, a level of comfortability for enlightenment to seek into you. If you are poor, you are extremely poor, you don't have what to eat, you don't know how to survive, what do I want to come and preach to you? That please vote based on your conscience. Poverty has even erased your conscience. Do you even have a conscience at that point in time? It's just like the Maslow hierarchy of needs. What is important to you at that point in time is your survival.
Yeah.
How do you want to survive? So whether then Nigerians has this kind of mindset that these politicians, well, they already know who will win. This my vote is not the one that will determine the winner. So the enlightenment part is very crucial, but Nigerian politicians are good at unlocking some doors that are not supposed to be unlocked. Now, in the past...
Give us an example.
In the past, we have a Muslim ticket. Abiola and Kingibe. That was a Muslim ticket. Nigerians voted for them massively. Now, we have this religion. You have to balance it. Christian, Muslim, Christian kind of equation. Before, Nigerians vote based on how you are able to convince them. Now, Nigerians are keeping their PVC, waiting for maybe one bag of rice somewhere, the highest bidder, as you put it. So the trends are changing. Look at this Boko Haram insurgents. Now, somebody will look at it, okay, what is the best way for me to win an election? Without considering the consequence of that on the society. If you pick hoodlums, if you pick youths that are using the larger part of their time to gain education in school, and those youths, you send them to NYSC for 1 year, and after that they are unemployed. They wake up early in the morning, their brain is not into any kind of meaningful productivity. So those youths are seeing you that you are in one political office as one superior being. Now, those youths are now investing their intellectualism back into crime. And that's what is bringing insecurity. So in that kind of situation in Nigeria today,
all right.
We are in difficult times.
Let's try to switch gears a little bit and get back on track here about the conversation that are going to be had with the electorate. Now that it's official, we've seen campaign slogans. Let's get Nigeria working again. We have next level. We have that we're all in this together. We're all running together. These are the different slogans for the different candidates. How do you think that these messages are actually going to get to the electorate now, this time around? Do you feel that the whistle-stop tours with social media, how do you feel like we're going to get the politicians are going to get their messages out this time?
Politicians are going to get their message to Nigerians via social media, live broadcast of political
So how do you
events.
do this engaging of the trading thing if the information is going out on these different platforms?
Well, most of these political parties, they have structures across the country. They have the strong base, and majority of them has this strong financial capital base too. So this financial base that they have, they can use it to influence issues across board. Now, you see a situation whereby somebody is going for primary, and someone has spent billions just to get a ticket. Now, one dangerous thing about politics is you must not start to invest. What we have in Nigerians now are not leaders, we have political investors. And there's one dangerous thing about politics. Once you invest, you want to spend more. Because you're like, okay, this now I've spent maybe 5 billion to get the ticket. No, I cannot stop here. That 5 billion cannot waste. I have to spend more to make sure I win this election.
And then you now want to return on your investment when you get in.
Sure.
Yes.
Back to the commodities.
Sure, you now want to get a return on, and that is what is affecting the development. Because naturally, when people are political investors, no investor wants to lose.
Yes.
We have In Nigeria now, we have people that when you ask them what are they doing, they say they are politicians. I call them politicians without alternative address. When somebody wakes up and brags himself as a politician, where does being a politician becomes an occupation? You must have an occupation that people know you with. Okay, this is what you are doing. Then being a politician is you coming to serve. And if you are really coming to serve, it shouldn't be by force. If I'm coming here to serve you and you people reject me, then that means I should be happy that, okay, I will even use my time for other things. I will have peace of mind. But when you want to get positioned into a political office and you want to make it a do or die affair, look at the APC primaries. Look at what has happened across the state. You find a situation whereby politicians are ruling. Now, majority of the governors have turned the Senate into a retiring home. They want to go back to Senate.
The refuge, yes.
Now, and after that, you still want to put your stooge there. Maybe we have cases that you want to put your family, your son-in-law, your closest ally. And I think Nigerian politicians don't learn lessons because we've had situations whereby oftentimes those that they put there, they often part ways with them in little or no time. Yeah. We've had a lot of issues. Why would you want to put in your very best to put somebody there where you know that such a person might even turn against you?
Well,
because I mean, I think at the end of the day, once people do get into office, they do need to become their own person, and being a stooge is very difficult 2-3 years down the line. One of the things that people have said, and I think the dates have been declared now for a presidential debate. What is your take on presidential debates, and do you think that the current candidates are going to participate?
But it is only in Nigeria that you would want to get people's votes, and you'll be running away to speak to the same people that you want to get their votes. Now, how do they know your plans?
Well, you've just said it's a commodity. They don't need to know your plans if you're going to give them a bag of rice.
The thing is, debate is a must. It is not something that you see that maybe you are doing the Nigerian society a favor
but it's currently
by
not
coming
required.
to debate. It should be required, and the Nigerian populace can make it like something that you must participate in. If Nigerians truly want and the advocacy for political debate is high, you have no choice than to, when your lack of attendance of political debate begin to influence election results, you will see that any politician will not miss political debate. And at the end of the day, it will now go back to reflect the intellectualism of the candidate. Majority of people that are occupying political offices in Nigeria today are of intellectualism that are below average. And that is reflecting in the country, successive governments. And that is reflecting in the rate of development of the country. Now, a country cannot go beyond the intellectualism of its leaders. Now, once your leaders cannot see beyond this point, it will be very difficult for the country to move beyond there, most especially majority of African and Nigerian leaders that believe that they can operate as they so wish. Majority of them, they have advisors, but give them advice, they won't listen. They will consider the political implication first. Will I win? Will I not win? Look at what is happening this Boko Haram insurgency. We have a commander-in-chief that sent an inspector general of police to Benue State.
And he didn't report?
Yes, and he didn't report. We have the Senate, the highest legislative body in the land, summoned the Inspector General of Police and he shunned the invitation. The difference between the military and the democratic government is the legislature. So once you remove the legislator, you have removed the principle of checks and balances. So that is the legislature, to the best of my knowledge, are performing their functions. And now, the same man is still occupying the same position, disobeying a commander-in-chief. Now, in a society whereby there is no consequence for actions, what you get is impunity. Now, the security agencies have a reason to be very political in 2019, and that will affect the conduct of the election, because the security agencies that we have right now are not like the Nigerian police force. No, they are like the APC police force,
Yes.
or
They're
the APC
partisans.
army.
Yeah.
Now, the security chiefs have operated in such a very partisan way, such that they have every reason to compromise, because they know once the ruling party lose, they are out of job. And naturally, as a human being, you would want to do anything humanly possible to protect your jobs. Look at the Boko Haram in the north. Look at the way they are killing Nigerian soldiers. And there's one dangerous aspect to that Boko Haram. Now, the people that are profiting from that war will not want that war to end. Whether you are the security chiefs, whether you are a commander, whether you are the battalion leader, as long as the budget, $1 billion, you know, if this war continues, you are not going to account for how you spend the money. And $1 billion is sure. Definitely, you will. These things are natural, not until we put the right perspective and we add beyond politics that we can get our system right and we can begin to enjoy the dividends of democracy.
But about that point, the Senate, they have their committees that are supposed to perform their oversight functions and are supposed to carefully screen how that budget was spent. So they ought not to be able to
not be able to account for it.
Yes, they
and
have
I think
to.
today there are enough agencies and also civic societies that are tracking and
Yes.
publishing that. Hopefully that will come to
You
light.
see,
I don't want, okay, go ahead.
civil societies, agencies, what supersedes that is the personal will. You monitoring me to do my job is different from me being determined to do my job well.
Yes.
So, when you look at the candidates, I mean, I don't want us to lose the fact that the campaigns have started. When you look at the campaign that is starting, what do you think, at the end of the day, how many candidates do you think will be at this standing and that people will be making their choices from? Today, I think we have over 13 candidates. Who are we going to be looking at? The top 5 candidates that you think will resonate with people?
In Nigeria right now, for the presidential election, we have 3 candidates.
Who are the 3?
President Muhammadu Buhari for the APC, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar for the PDP, and others.
The other, I like that.
And others. So the others are like the third force. And the 2019 election, the third force will eventually come third.
Okay.
So it's between
So let's talk about the
APC and the PDP. Now, if we look at the issues, the political issues, what is trending now? Now, something worked for the APC in 2015, which is the fight against corruption. We need to fight corruption. Nigerians keyed into it. Now, as an incumbent president, you contest against 2 things: your major opponent and your performance. People judge you by those 2 things. If you have not occupied that office, people will be judging you based on your campaign promises, what you are going to do. But once you're an incumbent, they also judge you based on your performance. Sadly enough, the APC has not updated their software. They are using the 2015 version. They need to update. They have failed to update to the 2019 version. There's a latest version of their software, and they need to update. Now, lack of updating of their software.
Maybe the system hasn't, the system crashed, maybe that's
Lack of updating of their software might eventually affect them in 2019, because the APC has not taken time to publicize the achievement of the Buhari administration very well. Rather, they have focused their attention on the same strategy that brought them to power in 2015. The PDP has done nothing. the PDP is corrupt. Now, majority of the members in the APC decamped from the PDP. Now, the difference between APC and PDP is President Muhammadu Buhari, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Babatunde Fashola, Kayode Fayemi. Now, these are a set of people that have never been in the PDP before. That is the difference between the APC and the PDP. But if you have ever cross-carpet from one party to the other, a Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, cannot come in a sane society, cannot face the public and say PDP has not performed on a platform that you are a governor for 8 years.
Yeah.
Godswill Akpabio, former governor of Akwa Ibom State, we face the camera today and say PDP has not performed. A platform that you are a governor for 8 years. If PDP failed Nigeria for 16 years, you are part of that failure.
Yes.
You were a governor in that state. You are one of the main stakeholders of the PDP. So, the issues in 2019, PDP is coming with, okay, there's so much poverty in the system. Is there poverty in the system? Yes. People are incredibly poor. But whether Nigerians will now believe the argument of PDP or want to give them a chance is another thing entirely. But the APC really needs to focus more on the achievement. And I don't know the kind of political strategies they have. When you come after about 4 years and you're saying, we will do, without first of all saying, okay, we have done this, this is what we are going to do. And because they think successive government, not only the APC government, they think Nigerians are not, maybe they think our reasoning are below average. Because you tell me that you want to create millions of jobs. Now, if I'm reading your policy document, don't just tell me you want to create millions of jobs. I want to see the methodology. How do you intend to create that job?
So we're saying that we need a bit more transparency in their delivery of what they're going to give us for that positioning. Now, I know you definitely mentioned the fact that, you know, Nigerians are, what was the word he used? I think smarter in being more intelligent in their knowing what to ask
politically,
for.
yes,
Yes, politically, or whatever. What are some of the questions? Because government is the people at the end of the day. And we understand that, yes, there's a lot that goes on behind closed doors in politics. But as a people, that they owe us the responsibility of being transparent, what are some of the things that you feel that we should be asking? What is the ask from these leaders that are going to, that we want to elect into power for 2019?
Yeah, what we need to ask.
I'm sorry, I like the way you said that. I was like, okay, I don't know, but yes, please tell us.
You see, what we need to ask the leaders is to question what they really want to do. But unfortunately, our political system is so weak that you just speak based on promises. And we Nigerians are really the architect of our own misfortune. Because why? We still believe so much in ethnicity.
Yes.
We still believe so much in religion. Now,
So let me ask you this, because you said this earlier. Do we believe in it, or have politicians found it as an Achilles heel and then used it for their benefit? Because when you're saying that we've had Muslim tickets before and people voted for them, which means at that point Nigerians were not sensitized to religion, or it wasn't important to them. So there are two things you're saying. One is that politicians are astute in figuring out areas of weakness and sort of amplifying it. And is that what's happening with ethnicity? Is that what's happening with religion? Or do you think we're inherently that way?
yeah, Nigerian politicians are like students and examination malpractice. When, no matter how you try to put in some things to curb examination malpractice, you would see that majority of those students are even more smarter than you. As you are blocking on their opening 10, that's the way Nigerians politicians are. Now, in the Nigerian society of today, the politicians right now need to focus on the main issues of development. Where is Nigeria in the Committee of Nations? We have politicians that travel abroad. Their kids are abroad. They see how those countries are. But then, how do you feel when you visit your neighbor and you see that their house is very neat, everything is intact, and you come back to your own home, it's very dirty, very scattered? How do you feel? You naturally want to tidy up your home. But we have a situation in Nigeria whereby politicians don't care at all. And we now have citizens that don't ask questions. Citizens that would rather think, oh, he's a Muslim, I'm a Muslim. He's a Christian, I'm a Christian. Let me give you one simple assignment. Permit me to. Pick any national issue today on social media, any national issue. Look at the comments. You will see a particular section of the country arguing against another particular section of the country. That is how bad things have become.
So politicians have basically pandered to the lowest common denominator for their own, they've crippled the electorate for their own benefit, is what you're saying. What is the way out?
The way out is for the electorate to try and make some sacrifices. Now,
Like what sacrifices?
there's one adage that say, you need to stay hungry today so that you don't remain hungry forever. It's in Yoruba. You need to stay hungry today. There's sometimes that you need to stay hungry today just so that you don't stay hungry forever. So the Nigerian electorate need to make sure that these politicians, they employ them. So in a democratic system, the people that invented the system try to make everything balanced. If you don't listen to the people, if you are not bothered about the people, 4 years will come, and whether you like it or not, you need to return back to the same people. President Muhammadu Buhari today is very powerful. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has given him so much powers. But as powerful as he is, he still needs to return back to the cripple, the poor, the blind, anybody above 18 and have registered, to get their vote for him to remain in office. That shows what a coalition of right reasoning Nigerians can do. Now, the way PDP was sacked in 2015 is good for our democracy. Because why? It has sent a signal that if you don't perform, Nigerians can still sack you. So the APC should not believe that 2019 is a sure banker. No. It has happened before. It can happen again. The power is with Nigerians. Nigerians should be the one calling the shot. Not that we need to now strategically twist the government. Look at the issue of minimum wage. The Labour Congress had to wait till election period to put forward this advocacy because they know that is only the time when politicians listen. Because they know politicians are after retaining their seat or regaining it. And that is the only time they listen. But if the Nigerian populace, the electorate, can stand, can rise beyond this sectionalism, religion, and all these things, definitely we will have a better society and government will be more functional. If you know that once you don't perform, Nigerians, they are wise, they are waiting for you.
But do you
with
think
their
that they?
PVC.
But do you think that they
Won't
know
perform.
that, and do you think that they believe that? Because on one hand, you're saying that Nigerians are enlightened to know the fact of what's going on, but are we using that in the right direction? Because if politicians are able to buy the votes with a bag of rice, and we know we have the power, which is having the PVC to actually make a difference, and we know we can actually hold the government accountable. But are we using that power wisely?
Well,
it doesn't seem so, but based on what you're saying.
They
but what
know
do you think?
Nigerians have the power, but then they try to cage you with extreme poverty. They know that you have the power to determine, but they know that once you are hungry, your mindset will not function properly. Once they throw anything at you, you easily want to give up. Your self-defense is low, very low. Now, it is Nigerians that are educated that will know the value of voting without collecting any kind of inducement. But these politicians too that benefited from free education are now the ones now charging 250,000, 200,000, 100,000 in some state universities. Now, let us look at it. How do you want the son and daughter of somebody that is selling pure water to go to school, to acquire a university education? That is why we have more touts. That's why we have more insecurity. Because what your parents are selling is, the capital is even about 20,000. And you are born into a poor family. And you really wish to go to school. That's why I usually say, Nigeria is a society that changes destiny. You wake up today, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a doctor. At the end of the day, if you are not careful, your doctor that you want to be, a medical doctor, you might end up by the roadside selling all these apps. Because why? There's no incentive, there's no social incentive for you to become what you really want to become.
So would that be the hot button issue in the upcoming elections, economic empowerment? Is that it, more so than security or?
What do you think are going to be the issues?
Yes.
The issues in this coming election is so very good that the two major political parties, we have veteran contestants. In Nigeria, I define veterans contested as if you have contested for a particular position more than twice, you become a veteran. The third time, I
An
label you a
experienced
veteran.
contestant.
Yeah.
Yes,
You are a
experience.
veteran contestant. So we have veteran contestants. And now, the issue now is the ethnic issue has been resolved. We have two Fulani men. The issue of not too young to run.
I'm so sorry to say this. When you say things like that, aren't we reinforcing this issue again?
Yeah.
The thing is, you see, when people were advocating for the young to, not too young to run, I was smiling. Because why? If you look at the Nigeria of today, the old boys are not ready to retire. Right now, do you know how many people that want to become president in this Nigeria? If it's possible.
All right, we're not going to let, we don't want to get off track, so let's round up the issues, the hot button issues. So you have veterans, you have two veterans running. What are going to be the issues this election?
The issues now will be based on performance, the antecedent of both candidates. Of course, we can't remove money. Now, on money, they say the PDP candidate is like, he knows how to spend. But then, the people that are supporting President Buhari...
We're going to go. Give us some more. Give us the last two issues. We're
People
going to
that
go.
are supporting President Buhari will spend on his behalf. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. So
now,
people, so campaign, yes, so spending.
Of course,
yeah.
spending. Another thing is the orientation of the voters themselves will play a major role. Then the geopolitical zoning of Nigeria will play another major role. Maybe some other time we talk of how
Yes,
that.
Definitely. We definitely have to have
It's
you back
always
on
great
here.
having you here. I mean, I
Yes,
think once
thank
again, from our first guest to you, one of the things that keeps on coming through is the power that the citizens have
Yes.
and how we use that power. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here,
Thank
as
you for
always.
having me.